This is the Phillies Postcast, your instant game reaction for the Philadelphia Phillies. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Welcome into Locked On Phillies Postcast and the Locked On Phillies YouTube channel. My name is Mark Farzetta. I got you covered for each and every one of your Locked On Phillies Postcast. Connor Thomas has you covered for each and every one of your Locked On Phillies Daily Podcast. This sucked. 100% this sucked. To be up 3-0, to have Christopher Sanchez on the hill, to have Shohei Ohtani just swinging at nothing, basically, having him off balance and guessing pretty much all night and often guessing wrong. You get nothing from the Dodgers, get nothing other than, a nice pitching performance, but still allowing 3 runs. So essentially nothing from Shohei Ohtani. This is the game that the Dodgers still find a way to win. That's awful. It sets a horrible standard and mood for the rest of this series. This was the game the Phillies were supposed to win. I knew they were going to miss a guy like Zach Wheeler, a right-handed pitcher, going up against this lineup. And unfortunately, Christopher Sanchez was masterful through 5 2/3, but then when he got to 5 2/3 plus, had a lot of trouble trying to get that final out of the inning. I don't fault Rob Thompson at all for keeping Sanchez in there and not going to Robertson earlier. That was a decision I was fine with. The biggest decision that I think Rob Thompson messed up tonight was David Robertson going out there again for the 7th inning. Of all the things you could argue about, Nick Castellanos getting the pitch hit appearance for Harrison Bader when he came up lane with the hamstring injury and had to leave the game. For Edmundo Sosa pinch hitting for Brandon Marsh in the 8th inning, you can certainly question that. Above all else, David Robertson is a 40-year-old pitcher who didn't start pitching till August 11th at the big league level again after a rehab assignment when the Phillies signed him. In that time, in the 20 games he has played for the Phillies, not one of them he was asked to do an up-down. Now, I understand. You can look at a guy like Edmundo Sosa and say, there's no way he should be pinch hitting. He's a terrible pinch hitter. He's a 111 pinch hitter in the 9 pinch hit at-bats he had this season. 5 of those strikeouts. He's terrible. It's a lefty-righty thing. You're going to put him up there. That is a no-brainer as far as I'm concerned. Brandon Marsh does not get the at-bat there. Edmundo Sosa gets the at-bat there. But I understand the other side of it. You ride with Marsh, and that's the way you go with it. I didn't have a problem with Edmundo Sosa getting the plate appearance there, getting the at-bat there. I didn't have a problem with it whatsoever. And he's been money for the Phillies all season long. Brandon Marsh has been great as well, but not great against left-handed pitching. So, of course, Rob Thompson's going to push that button. Sosa, I get. David Robertson, I do not get. He did it. To use Rob Thompson's words against him, he did his job. David Robertson did his job. He got out of that 6th inning. When I saw him come out for the 7th, I went, this is not going to be good. Sure enough, bing, bang, right out of the gate, 2 base runners. They go to Matt Strahm. Matt Strahm gets 2 outs in the inning. Then he throws a 1-0 fastball. That wasn't a terrible pitch. It was up in the zone. It was away, but it did catch too much of the plate, and it was the biggest mistake of the game. Of all the mistakes of the 3 strikeouts for Kyle Schwarber, the 0 for 4 for Kyle Schwarber today, of all the mistakes, Matt Strahm got 2. First off, again, Rob Thompson having David Robertson start out that inning, terrible decision. If I could redo one thing, it would be that. But when you're brought in there and you're asked to do a job, you're asked to get out of it. I know you had a runner on 1st and 2nd. You had nobody out. That's what you went into the game with. And then the one big mistake of the game, unfortunately, was the up and not so far away fastball from Strahm that Teoscar Hernandez put about 5 rows back in the right center field stands, and that was that. It went from a 3-2 ball game at that point to a 5-3 ball game in favor of the Dodgers. And it did feel like the wind was out of the Phillies' sails, unfortunately, in this game. Without further ado,
this is the Locked On Player of the Game.
I don't need to say it. You guys know it. Teoscar Hernandez, I have to give him credit. I mean, I have to tip my cap and not be happy about it, but that's where we're at. He got a pitch that he could drive. He went the opposite field with it. He went with the pitch. Great swing on it. Good for him. There you go, 3-run home run. He's the player of the game, unfortunately. Like I was saying, though, Christopher Sanchez, you want to see him at least be able to go 6 innings in a game like this. You want to go to Strahm or Kerkering, and then you want to be able to hand the ball right to Joan Duran to pitch the 9th inning and close it out and be done with it. But unfortunately, Sanchez Started to leak a little bit of oil later in the game, leaked a little bit of gas later in the game. A 17 pitch fifth inning. Then he started to struggle there in the sixth inning, got to 22 pitches before he was pulled out of the game. So the 1-0 slider that he left up and in a little bit there to Enrique Hernandez that he put into the left field corner for the 2-run double. That was the 22nd pitch of the inning for Christopher Sanchez. You can see him starting to lose it. Rob Thompson decided, and I do agree with Rob. I do agree with Topper on this one. Don't tinker too early in this situation. Unfortunately, the philosophy did not heed the result that we wanted to see. Did not bear the result that we wanted to see. Robertson then came in. He got Muncy to ground out on a little comebacker to the mound, little bouncer to the mound. He was down the count 3-0, fought back 3-2, got in the rollover on a curveball, and that's where they were able to get the final out of the inning. And then again, seventh inning, when I saw Robertson come back out, I went, I've watched every game this year. I don't think David Robertson has done this. I went through his 20 games this year. He has never pitched more than an inning, which is the obvious. And then he has never pitched one inning to the next. He's never had an up-down, which is the terminology nowadays. So why not in the playoffs against the Dodgers have him do it, right? Stupid. That was a dumb decision. Of all the decisions you could disagree with on Rob Thompson tonight, that to me is the most glaring one. If you want a righty out there, you have Kerkering come in with nobody on when he doesn't scare the you-know-what out of me. And this one just didn't work out. I don't think it was a manager putting his players in the best position to have success, unfortunately, tonight. As far as the turning point,
to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the turning point.
Obviously, I mean, David Robertson coming in there in the seventh inning, I'm going to term as the turning point of this game. No doubt about that. Matt Strahm gets put in a bad situation. Yes, he gave up the home run. It should have been a solo home run. Should have been a tie ball game. It should not have been a 3-run home run that turned the tide of the ball game, unfortunately.
Time to This is what you'll be talking about.
Tonight, I think you're going to be talking about, or tomorrow, rather, I think you're going to be talking about the offense not being able to do anything after the second inning, after you see JT Realmuto come out there and give you a 2-0 lead with a triple in the right center field gap. And I still don't understand what Pajis was doing, trying to chase down that ball, but he was like running next to the baseball. He misplayed that terribly. I think Teoscar Hernandez had a bad beat on it as well. Maybe it was Call had a bad beat on it as well. It just didn't make any sense to me whatsoever. And they ran it to the wall. Realmuto makes it to third, clears the bases. Phillies are up 2-0. Harrison Bader comes up a batter later. He puts a deep fly ball in the left field for the sac fly RBI. Phillies are up 3-0. Again, you got Christopher Sanchez on the hill. You're feeling like, oh, game one, signed, sealed, delivered. This is great. It's all we need. And then sixth inning, Enrique Hernandez is double. Seventh inning, Teoscar Hernandez. The Hernandez boys really got you tonight, unfortunately. But I think of all that, you're going to be talking about Kyle Schwarber not being able to capitalize on a certain situation there in the fifth inning when the Phillies had first and second with one out. Harrison Bader, if you remember, got hit by a pitch off the forearm, stayed in the game. Then after that, you saw Bryson Stott step up to the plate. He got the line drive single to center field. So now you got first and second. You got one out in the inning. And then you see Trey Turner hit one off the end of the bat, lines out to short. And then you see one of his 3 strikeouts tonight. Kyle Schwarber battles back from being down to the count 0-2 and then swings right under a 3-2 curveball hanging up there, middle of the plate. There was a couple of pitches down the pike today, man, that Schwarber either took or fouled away. Harper had a couple as well. But, man, it was just not the way I thought this was going to go after they were up 3-0 in the second inning. Because, again, you're just figuring, all right, well, Sanchez is going to give you at least 6 tonight. Then you hand the ball to a couple clean innings here. That'll be all she wrote. 1-0 Phillies in the NLDS against LA. Not the case. Not the case. This was absolutely a rough one. When we come back, we're going to take your comments on this loss tonight. We'll play the blame game. If you could change one thing about tonight's game, what would it be? For me, I would not have David Robertson out there again in the seventh inning. I would no way let him start out that inning. If you're on letting Brandon Marsh bat in the 8th inning with the bases loaded and 2 outs, the Nick Castellanos at bat was weird to me. I was like, does Harrison Bader just really suck against Tyler Glasnow? This doesn't make any sense. What's going on here? And Nick Castellanos is 1 for 4 against Glasnow in his career going into tonight. Harrison Bader was 2 for 10. And I'm like, 2 for 10? That doesn't make any sense. Was that pitch off his arm? Was that swelling or something? What's going on? And then it revealed, I think it was tightness or strain, a hamstring strain for Harrison Bader, which is why he was not in the game after that, and why Nick Castellanos came in, and why I believe it was Max Kepler playing center field by the close of the game. Good times. All right, your comments and more when we return. This is Locked On Phillies Postcast on the Locked On Phillies YouTube channel. And right now, let me tell you about Prize Picks. This episode is brought to you by Prize Picks. Every day we make decisions, and on Prize Picks, being right can actually get you paid. So take advantage of all Prize Picks has to offer right now. Love playing Prize Picks. You just pick 2 to 6 player stat projections, and if you win, how about that? If you guess right, if your knowledge takes you in the right direction, you win some great prizes at Prize Picks. Right now, you can download the Prize Picks app today and use promo code LOCKEDONMLB. That's promo code LOCKEDONMLB, and get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Again, that's promo code LOCKEDONMLB for $50 in lineups after your first $5 lineup. After you play your first $5 lineup, that's Prize Picks. It's good to be right. And how about the incredible people at FanDuel? How great is FanDuel? Take advantage of all they're offering right now, where new customers can bet just $5. That's right. New customers can bet just $5. And if your bet wins, you get $300 in bonus bets to use across the FanDuel app. So download the FanDuel app, create an account, use promo code LOCKEDONMLB. That's promo code LOCKEDONMLB, and get $300 in bonus bets unlocked at FanDuel.com. That's FanDuel.com. And finally, let me tell you about the amazing people at Rugiet. That's right, Rugiet. What can you do? Bald eagle, what do you think about this for a second? A bald eagle standing on top of a silverback gorilla riding a T-Rex? What do you call that? You call that confidence. Rugiet, Go Long, can provide that confidence. I mean, there's other ED pills out there. For instance, you got Viagra, you got Cialis, but maybe you've tried them and they didn't work for you. That's where Rugiet Go Long comes in. Rugiet Go Long is amazing. This isn't just another ED pill. It's a total game changer for the game of confidence. Go Long combines 2 doctor-trusted medications in one dual-action formula so you can get hard and go the distance. How about that? And effects can last up to 36 hours. How about that one? That's confidence all day and all night, even into the next day. Ready to level up your confidence in the bedroom? Head to Rugiet.com. That's Rugiet.com. And use promo code LOCKEDONMLB for 15% off your first order. That's Rugiet.com. Promo code LOCKEDONMLB. And make sure you know that we sent you at Rugiet.com. Let's get into the chat check and see how you guys are feeling after this just gut-wrenching, blowing a 3-0 lead. And you beat the Dodgers on the day Ohtani's pitching. You take him for 3 runs. Then from the plate, Ohtani gives you nothing, does nothing except strike out 4 times. By the way, I mentioned Christopher Sanchez being masterful for 5 2/3. Christopher Sanchez against Shohei Ohtani tonight put on an absolute masterclass against Shohei Ohtani. In the first inning, strikes him out on 3 pitches, goes sinker, changeup. The third changeup flailed away at it. He had no chance. Next time he faces Ohtani in the 3rd inning, they actually work a full count, but then he sits him down looking at a sinker down in the zone. So we got him looking on that one. Next time he faces Ohtani is in the 5th inning. This time it's a 1-2 sinker, and Ohtani's thinking he's going to try to burn a couple of pitches, a changeup low and away, don't swing at it. He goes right down the pike, babe. Does Christopher Sanchez against Shohei Ohtani, right down the middle of the plate, and Ohtani just, what? Strike 3. See you later. And then I forget who it was later in the game that actually got him again on that. Maybe it was Strahm. But it was just perfect. It was perfect execution. It was Strahm. Got him the 1-2 fastball. Same thing. Froze him. Looking at it. Expecting these guys to be burning pitches, and they didn't. They just took full advantage. So there you go. Now let's get into the chat check and see how you guys are doing. Sir Sketchable, the gambling mind of Parlayo Tani cannot compute the Mattis versus Strahm. That's funny. Robinson should have never started the 7th. Thank you. Every single time Strahm blows it. Why? I mean, look, he would have given up the game tying home run in theory. Or maybe you don't even face Teoscar Hernandez. Maybe he doesn't even get that far if he's starting out that inning. Thanks, Topper, leaving pitchers in too long. Yeah. Never get a bet against the Blue, says G. Thanks, G, whatever. Oh, Jerry Von Skyver's gonna. Okay, now it's officially confirmed the manager's delusional. Why the hell is he pinch hitting for Harrison Bader? I agree. That's where an injury came out. Again, I was scratching my head, but like, this is so dumb. What about this makes sense? And I'm like, am I missing something where Harrison Bader is 0 for a lifetime against Tyler Glasgow? When I saw 2 for 10, I was like, that's not great, but this is the playoffs. What are you doing? And it's not like Glasnow's a lefty. So I'm like, why is it? I've gone cross-eyed trying to think of it. You know what I mean? Graham Francis can't hit. You can't score. You can't win. Just swinging in the breeze all night, pretty much. Dodgers are inevitable. Face it. The Dodgers have been spanked by the Phillies over the last 2 years. Okay. It's not crazy to think that the Phillies should have won this game tonight. Schwarber, a no-show. Jess Patrick, too. Yeah, not a great night for Kyle Schwarber tonight. Strahm cost us the game. He did give up the biggest mistake, unfortunately. No denying that. I agree, Pat Ryan. He screwed up not giving Strahm a fresh inning. I concur. Are they going to get swept? Kind of feels like it. Blake Snell owned the Phillies. He goes tomorrow. Jesus Luzardo will pitch for the Phils tomorrow against Blake Snell. So this is not a great feeling right now. Phillies have been a great home team. I felt like this was the game they were supposed to take. They had their Cy Young candidate on the hill. They had a 3-0 lead going into the 6th inning. They had a 3-2 lead going into the 7th inning, and they blow it. Thank you, the 1215. I won't be putting that on, but thank you. Brandon, bottom of the 6th and 7th, we just needed one more damn out. I know. Anti-Bland, hello. Strahm makes 93 look so difficult. I don't really see the point of having him as a reliever. Thank you. Though Robertson not getting the 3rd strike call, proceeded to give up a single and hit batter. I thought a couple of these were squeezed, but it was nothing that was out. Say how behind the plate tonight, there was nothing that I thought he did as an umpire that was drastic. Misses in the 1st inning, or misses in the 7th inning, misses in the 9th inning. Like, if it was a borderline strike that was called a ball in the 1st inning, I thought it was pretty fluid throughout. So I can't really go the umpires today. I see the complaints about Bader. We later found out he was hurt, so there you go. I'm going to try to move along. Timothy B. Farzetta, when your top 3 in the lineup go 1 for 11, especially in the playoff, it ain't happening. And yes, Stopper bringing out Robertson for an inning was dumb. Tanner Banks, but I think he wanted to stay righty, so I would have thought Kerkering would have been the guy. I would have loved to say Strahm keep throwing fine. But if he wanted to go with the righties, I thought Orion Kerkering would have come in that situation. That was just weird. That was just weird to me. But yeah, if you look back on it, I mentioned Kyle Schwarber 0 for 4. Trey Turner's just coming back off injury. He worked a walk today. That was it. He was 0 for 3. Bryce Harper didn't get a hit till very late in the game when you were trying to set the table there in the 8th inning. But at least he got a hit. Bohm had a couple of good plate appearances today, was able to work 2 walks. What really surprised me about Schwarber today is there were a couple of pitches right there over the middle of the plate that he just took. One wasn't that surprising because I think it was Turner that just got walked on 5 pitches, 4 straight balls in that plate appearance. And then Schwarber came up, and look, if you're going to make a bet on whether or not Kyle Schwarber's taking that first pitch, bet the house. He's going to take that first pitch. So he took that first pitch, unfortunately, and that pitch should have wound up in the second deck for a 2-run home run. Schwarber had bad energy, says Mint Diggity. I don't know about that, but it was bad tonight. think Dodgers fans are starting to get in the chat, and I don't like that one bit. Well, okay, yeah, a lot of Dodgers people. All right, I'm sorry for the regulars. You guys are great. Oh, here we go. Elliot, we suck again. There we go. That's a real Phillies fan. Thank you. This one was a rough one, certainly. This one was a rough one, and now it's lining up where you're going to get, after Ohtani today, you're going to get Blake Snell, who just spanked you in the regular season. So hopefully that's a weird playoff roundabout for him. I don't know. And then Yamamoto after that. We're all having fun. This is a good time. We're having fun. Hey, at least for a lot of people, you won't have to see Nola in game 4. So there's that. Anyway, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. This is Locked On Phillies Postcast and the Locked On Phillies YouTube channel. My name is Mark Farzetta. I got you covered for your postcast needs. Connor Thomas has you covered for your Locked On Phillies daily podcast. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Catch you guys on Monday, 6:08. See you guys after that. Bye.
Time to reveal where the game was.
Push the wrong buttons because I'm angry. There we go.